Hello and welcome to SBJ Spotlight. I'm Alex Silverman, hockey and soccer reporter for Sports Business Journal. Today we're talking soccer, specifically the United Soccer League. For the uninitiated, the USL is an organization that operates several professional and non-professional soccer leagues across North America. Its highest level competition, the USL Championship, is the second tier of professional soccer in the US. And USL is also introducing a new women's league called the Super League next year that will occupy the same place in the women's game. Joining us today is USL Chief Operating Officer and Chief Real Estate Officer, Justin Papadakis, to discuss the state of the organization and its ambitious growth plans. Justin, thanks for being here.
Alex, thanks for having me. Looking forward to talking soccer in the USL today.
Obviously, real estate is the second part of your title, Chief Real Estate Officer. Tell us a little bit about USL's approach to stadium development and real estate, because it's very different than what you see in other sports leagues in the US.
It's so exciting. And we took a very different approach. So when we looked at this opportunity 6-7 years ago, we thought stadium developments are difficult because they take 4 to 10 years. And they require so much interaction and consensus building and stakeholder building at the local level. And so what we decided to do was take a different approach in that myself and my larger real estate team, we would go to the markets and where we work on about 40 plus at any given time, and really find the right stadium site, work with stakeholders, assemble the land, and all the entitlements, and a whole bunch of professional services that go along with creating a stadium anchored development, and get those projects started. And then along the way, we could identify and select the ownership partners that would ultimately take the club forward. And so it's been a unique approach. And as I mentioned, we look at these as not only stadiums, but larger stadium anchored developments. And with different financing mechanisms, building larger projects actually makes the financials work better, of course, because you have income producing assets in addition to just the stadium itself.
One of the big stories we're watching with USL this year is media rights. You're currently with ESPN, and that deal expires at the end of this season. You obviously bring a very different set of rights to the market than other sports organizations with your 2 professional men's leagues and the women's league. What is your vision for this next media rights deal, and how far along are you in the process?
So in terms of media rights, what we can bring to a media partner is something unique. It's on the digital side and the OTT side. We have this tonnage with going on 1,000 plus matches. But more importantly, what we bring is 35 going on 80 plus markets, and then which will also then be significantly more when we add the women's side on, even though they'll be largely the same markets. And so from a media perspective, being able to go and with one deal bring 1,000 plus matches onto your platform with fans that really want to watch their local team week in and week out, we think that's compelling content. And so what our job is to do at the league office and with our clubs is to develop fans and develop supporters. If we develop supporters and we develop strong brands at the team level, that will translate into viewership, which translates into a successful media right deal.
And when do you think we might have an announcement on that front?
There's a multi-dimensional process here, so don't have any additional color today on when to expect an announcement.
Tell us about some of the individual market team success stories that you think best exemplify what you guys are trying to achieve across the country at USL?
So we do love all our teams equally, but I'll point to a couple of success stories. And first one I'll start with is New Mexico, where there was no soccer culture, largely speaking, in New Mexico and in Albuquerque. When we started working the market, they a lot of people said with a degree of pride, on paper, out of 50 states, New Mexico was 51st in population growth, household income, corporate base, all of your traditional metrics. But they said, but we love New Mexico, we love Albuquerque, and if there's a club that can really represent this state, we will support it. New Mexico is a soccer state now. You see 12,000+ people week in and week out supporting their club. And when you go to a New Mexico United game, one, you don't sit down, and two, the passion, the excitement that you feel at those matches, shows the quality of support, in addition to just the fan size. And then as a newcomer to USL, but a great soccer story in the United States, you have Detroit City, which started as a really community-based club, rose up through the ranks, and showed what a true community-based club could be, and showed that they can compete on the field and they compete off the field. You have two clubs there that really represent that. And what we try to think about every single day is, how do we create more New Mexicos and Detroits? And I think you'll see that we're able to do that on a repeatable basis because of our community, city, county, state partners, the investors who believe in the thesis of soccer, and most importantly, our fans who just love coming to the matches and supporting their city. So next year with Lexington, for example, you'll see that we showed that Kentucky is a soccer state with Louisville, and I think you'll see it on the same level next year with Lexington. So just around the country, we just announced Santa Barbara. You'll just start to see this absolute tidal wave of interest in supporters watching their club compete against the rest of the country. And that is really epitomized in the Open Cup, where on September 7th, we have a USL club playing a MLS club. Our goal and how we position USL is not as a second division or as a third division, but as the top level of soccer in our markets. And we think that we can, that is a true statement off the field because of the attendances we're getting, because of the facilities that we're building, but also on the field where we can compete and win against the MLS.
Very excited for that Open Cup final. Sacramento Republic FC has been just an unbelievable story to follow. Justin, let's leave it there. Thank you so much for being with us today.
Thanks for having me.